Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Arcanes versus Absolab, and more specifically we're going to dive into the costs. Now, because I did actually two videos on this topic, one was comparing the 17-star Arcane versus 22-star Absolab, the other video was comparing the 22-star Absolab versus 22-star Arcanes, I believe. And you guys seem to really like that, so here we go with some more math type related MapleStory content. So let's dive right into it. Essentially, we're going to be talking mainly about Absolab 22-star compared to Arcane's 19-star and 20-star, and you'll see why that is in a few, but essentially they are the closest I can get to an Absolab 22-star item in terms of equivalent stat boost. And of course, I blacked out the weapon section because, you know, as I mentioned in the previous video, there will be a KMS change that will be coming to GMS, I think. And essentially what that change allows us to do is have an arcane weapon equipped, which is obviously better than having an Absolab weapon. It just tend to be cheaper and gives more stats and attack. So I'm not going to go into the weapon part of it, but more importantly, we're just going to look at the 4 set effects, such as gloves, shoulder, cape, and shoe, and compare those together with one another, because we're just going to assume that you're going to be using an arcane weapon, especially with the new KMS change that'll be coming to set effects. So again, as mentioned in my previous video, there is a 40 strength difference for flames, and this is just a broad guesstimate that I did. Maybe it's 30, maybe it's 40, I don't know, but you know, let's just say 40 and give arcanes the benefit of the doubt. And then for clean stat difference, this is just the clean stats that, you know, differs between an arcane and Absolab, and they have 20 strength and 4 attack over if it's cape, shoe, and glove, and for shoulder it is 21 strength and 10 attack difference. And then we also have the set effect difference, which is 20 strength and 40 attack, so we have a total of 221 strength and 62 attack in favor of the arcanes. Now let's move on to the Absolab armor star forcing, and again we're only talking about armor pieces, so all 4 of the armor pieces we have here are 22-starred Absolabs, and essentially we have 131 strength per item, and for gloves we have 99 attack, and we have 92 attack for shoulder, cape, and shoe. So we have a grand total of 524 in terms of strength, and we have a 375 attack in terms of Absolabs. So now let's go into arcanes. So for arcanes, we go for 19 star first. So for 19 star, just the star force gains, we get 100 strength per item, and we get 61 attack for gloves, 54 attack for everything else, for a grand total of 400 strength and 223 attack. And then for the arcane 20 stars, we have 115 strength, 77 attack for gloves, and 70 attack for everything else. Same thing, 115 strength for everything else, for a grand total of 460, and that's in strength, and 287 for attack. And now let's move on to the comparison grid, and here's where it gets a little bit fancier. Let me move it over a bit so you guys can see. Okay, so let's do some comparison, right? So again, 3 items: Absolab 22-star, Arcane 19-star, Arcane 20-star. And then let's look at the replacement cost in a bit. So what I'm going to focus on right here is the strength is again taken from the 22-star items here. So 524 strength taken from here, and then the 375 again taken from here. So all of these numbers are basically taken from here, and then The 400 is essentially the total here, or I should say 621 is the 400 from here, along with the 221 from the set effect and everything like that from the first section. And then again, same thing for 681, it's 460 and 221 strength, and same thing for the attack, 62 plus 287. So that's that. It's pre-established, you know, we got that done. And then now here we have the total score in terms of strength. So I just assume one attack is again 2.4 strength. And for a 22-star Absolab items, we have 1.4k-ish. And then for 19-star Arcane, we have 1.3k. So it's a good amount of difference. And then versus a Arcane 20-star, which is 1.5k. So from just the looks of this, Arcane 20-star is better than Absolab 22-star. But at 19-star, it's still slightly worse. And I don't really think there is a middle ground unless you just star force like 2 items and leave the other 2 alone, and that'll be basically equivalent. So I guess for those of you who are wondering, you know, what star arcanes are equivalent to Absolabs, I guess this is what you can basically go off of. So 20-star is better, but 19-star is still slightly worse. So now let's go into the pure Meso cost, and this is something I took from you know, various star forcing simulators I found. We're assuming no events, no safeguard, no star catching, no MVP discount, none of that, just to keep it pretty raw and basic. So there's less, you know, variations and factors to consider. It just makes it easier. So for 22-star, it takes 35 bill. So all of these figures that you see right now are in bill, just to make everything consistent. So 35 bill per item on average. So it could take more, it could take you less. It depends on your luck, but on average, it is 35 bill per item. And so for 4 items, which is like the glove, shoulder, shoe, cape, things like that, all 4 items is going to be 140 bill. Simple math, right? 35 times 4. And then now we go for 19 stars, same thing. I took it from the Star Force calculator, 15 bill per item, and this is only pure Meso cost, so not accounting for booms. We're gonna talk about that in a bit. So for 15 bill, again, we multiply this by 4, because 4 items, you know, glove, shoulder, cape, shoe. And then for 20-star, it takes around 32 bill, and again, multiply that by 4, because of the 4 set items that we have. So that's pure Meso costs, and these are the numbers that we'll be using on to account for the total costs. And this we can basically ignore because the preliminary calculations are done. Now, let's talk about boom costs real quick. So, this is from Bera, so it may be different depending on your world, but this is what the Bera market is like right now. And again, this is in billions. So Absolab glove, it is 380 mil, so 0.38 bill. Shoulder, 0.12 bill, which is 120 mil. Cape, 400 mil. Shoe, 400 mil, for a total of 1.3 bill. If we were to replace this whole set, let's say this whole set boomed, it's going to take 1.3 bill to replace this whole set. And then for Arcane, again, better pricing, it's going to be 3.1 bill for the gloves. It may change down the line depending on how the market is, but again, these are just the numbers right now at the recording of this video. It might not be the publishing of this video because I have stuff to edit it and put details here and there. But at the time of recording, it is 3.1 bill, 3 bill for shoulder, 3.4 bill for cape, 3.4 bill for shoe, for a grand total of approximately 13 bill, but it's 12.9 bill. Right, so if we were to boom this whole set, we will get 12.9 bill of replacement costs just from everything here. Right, so that's that. And then again, these figures, we're gonna go into boom cost now. Essentially, these figures are the average booms that will take for X amount of stars, right? And again, this is from the Star Force calculators that I looked at. And so for Absolab 22 star, it's going to be 11.15 booms on average. assuming no Scafar, no event, anything like that, before it reaches 22 star. For 19 star arcanes, it's going to be 2.56 again from the simulator and the calculators I use. And 20 star arcane is going to be 5.13 average booms. And so these are just per item. So for 4 items, it's going to be obviously times 4. Now, let's look at the 4-piece replacement cost in billions. And how we figure this out is essentially the average booms per item times the set. So times the whole set. So in this case, it is 1.3 bill. So this whole set is going to boom 11.15 each. So it's going to be 11.15 times 1.3. And we get the total of 14.495 billion. And then for this, again, same thing, but we're using the arcane figures. So 12.9 in replacement cost, and the whole set is going to boom 2.56 times on average. So we get a 33.02. So let's call it 33, I guess. And then again, for this, same thing. It's going to be the whole set, 12.9 times the amount of booms for that whole set on each equipment. So it's 5.13. So 5.13 times approximately 13 is around 66 bill in replacement costs. Now we're going to calculate the total cost. So for this figure, what we do is we take the pure Meso cost, which is 140 bill, plus the replacement cost for the whole set, and that is 14.49 bill in this case, and we get a total of 154 bill cost. And now for arcanes, we do the same thing, but our, for arcane section, it's going to see 60 bill in pure Meso cost times the 33 bill that we did for the 4-piece, and we get a total of 93 bill for just everything, boom cost, Meso cost, everything. And then again, for the arcane 20 star item, we have 128, which is the pure Meso cost, plus the 4-piece set replacement costs, and that is 66.17. So we have a grand total of 194 billion in Meso costs. So 19 star arcanes are very cheap, I guess, and then 22 star Absolab is in the middle of the road, and arcane 20 star is in the highest end right now. So what set should you really go for? Well, again, that depends on your goals, and like I said, 22 star Absolab is more than enough to liberate with. 19 star is probably enough to liberate with as well. It's not really a huge deal because Black Mage isn't really that hard once you have levels going in there for you. So if you're level 270, it's going to be slightly more challenging, but if you're 275, you get a lot of % final damage increase from just levels alone. So I think all of these options are good options, but it just depends on how you want to structure your game. 22 star Absolab eventually is going to become obsolete. Arcanes eventually will become obsolete, but it's going to take a longer time for arcanes to become obsolete before it takes Absolab to become obsolete. Obviously, Absolab is going to become obsolete before arcanes will be, just because of the 40 levels of difference. But again, it's like how much do you want to invest in this game for the results, and hopefully this provides you with some information to make your decision off of. There's no really clear-cut answer to this, but I can give you guys facts and data to hopefully give you guys a more informed decision. But this is something that you guys will probably have to do alone, and I can only give you guys like little tidbits here and there so you guys can get the full picture. And that's what I try to do with these videos. I'm not trying to give you guys a certain aspect where say, oh, pick this and leave everything else out because everything else sucks. It just all depends on your goals and what you want out of this game and what you want to achieve in this game. So anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked the video. If you guys did, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more videos from me. And if you guys have any questions, comment, concern, just leave it in the comment section below and I'll try to respond to every one of them. Don't leave anything crazy from me because I'll probably just ignore it. So yeah, that's it for that. I'll see you guys in the next video.